Hello guys, this is your friend and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is what if Naruto's hidden bloodline awoke during his beating, Naruto x Harem, Part 2. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. Any side effects? Kurenai asked. Besides the normal disadvantage that the Yamanaka bloodline have, I'm not sure, Tsunade said. And the second person, Yugo asked. Sakura Haruno has a 90 of creating a new bloodline, Tsunade said. Haruno, I wasn't aware of a bloodline within that family, Kurenai said. They don't. In fact Sakura is the only ninja ever reported in the family, Tsunade said. How is it possible that she will create a new bloodline? Anko asked confused. Well, although no Haruno have ever been a registered ninja doesn't mean they haven't had people attempt to become a ninja. Everyone who attempted had godlike chakra control, but the downside was they had so little amount of chakra that they never could do more than one jutsu an hour, Tsunade said. What's so special about this Sakura girl? Anko asked. Well, nothing except her chakra control is unusually high even for a Haruno, and her chakra supply isn't higher than other Harunos, giving her the chance to actually become a genin. I'm not sure how a kid with the two would turn out, but it will have Naruto's godlike chakra and Sakura's godlike control, which that in itself is like having a bloodline, Tsunade said. I for one think it's worth a try to get a marriage contract between them, Yugo said. I think we need to discuss this with Kushina first. She isn't too fond of the idea that Naruto has to go back there for the Chunin exams. I don't think she will take this news lightly either, Kurenai said. I agree, Anko said. In Wave, Kushina was sitting with her genins along with Haku and Kasumi eating dinner when the room got dark. Welcome, they heard. Mom, what's going on? Naruto asked. I'm not sure, Kushina said. I have been here before, the day when I moved sand for the first time, Naruto said, realizing where he was. Yes, the first time I was able to see into your past, the voice said. Who is there? Kushina asked. Well, tell your son to make some lights, this is his mindscape, the voice said. Naruto, Kushina said. Naruto closed his eyes and thought of something different and it appeared in front of everyone's eyes. Cool, Tenten said. Welcome, I'm Kyuubi, the fox said. How are we here? Kushina asked. I see no one is scared, Kyuubi said with amusement. We already know about you, Hinata said. Well, do you know I can send you back in time, Kyuubi asked. We didn't know that, Hinata said. I know you didn't, but I'm going to do it anyway, Kyuubi said. Why? Kushina asked. 2 reasons. First, Naruto needs to learn to use the Hiraishin no Jutsu, and second to find out who killed my family, Kyuubi said. So all of us are going back? Kushina asked. Yes, but you can't interact with anyone from the past, and you will only be in the past long enough to learn who killed my family. Once you find the jutsu will end, so use your time wisely. If you don't learn the Hiraishin no Jutsu, before then you will have to figure it out yourself, Kyuubi said. So as long as we don't find out who killed your family we will stay in the past? Kushina asked. No matter what happened the jutsu will end the moment I reach the village of Konoha, Kyuubi said. Okay, how far back will it be until that happen? Kushina asked. 1 day, Kyuubi answered. You expect him to learn the Hiraishin in 1 day? Kushina asked. Kushina shook her head as the bright light died down and looked around. Well, let's get to work. You 3 find Minato and follow him. He should hide the scroll for the Hiraishin before he seals Kyuubi. I'm going to find Kyuubi and find out who killed her family, she ordered them. The 3 took off towards the Hokage's tower while Kushina vanished in a burst of speed. Break. Naruto, Tenten, and Hinata quickly found their target and shadowed him, taking note of everything that he hid and sealed up. They jumped out the window of the cage's tower, proceeded to follow the current Hokage. He entered the forest and made sure no had followed him. Summoning no jutsu, he said, and summoned a medium-sized toad. Minato, why did you summon me in such a dark and tight space? The toad asked. Sorry, but I need you to take this scroll. It's for the Hiraishin. No place here is safe for it. can you keep it with the toads until my son Naruto is old enough to summon toads? He asked. Sure. But why are you talking as if you won't be able to teach him the move yourself? The toad asked. Kyuubi is attacking. I'm going to try and stop it before it destroys the village. I might need the boss' help, Minato said. I'll let him know, the toad said, then was gone. Break. Kushina noticed that her students was closer to their target and sped up. She quickly ran through the gate and into the forest. She had no idea how Shu would find Kyuubi until there was a spike in demonic chakra. Running towards the chakra, she saw two ninjas running towards her with an angry Kyuubi behind them. They got closer, she recognized who the two was. Break. Haku and Kasumi looked over at the four when the room turned bright white. Did you find what you was looking for? Kasumi asked when the light went away. I know why Kyuubi attacked Konoha, Kushina said. We know where the scroll for the Hiraishin is, Tenten said. Where? Kushina asked. With the toads, Naruto told them. Well, this is a problem. We either have to get Jiraiya to summon the right toad or have you sign the toad contract, Kushina said while thinking through the options. Break. Sitting in her room was the youngest Hyuga, just turning 5. She turned and picked up her doll, something no one knew she had. She smiled as she remembered the day she got it. Flashback. You're still here, didn't you die a few years ago? Hiyashi asked while not even looking up at her. I hate you, she yelled as a reply while trying to stop herself from crying again. Really, go do something with yourself. I don't have time to deal with you right now, Hiyashi said as he continued to sign some papers. At least you can act like you know it's my birthday, the girl replied. Unless you want me to kill you where you stand, get out of my office now, Hiyashi said, finally looking up from his work and glaring at her. She glared back and turned, walking out. I hope you die painfully, she said just loud enough for him to hear. At least I won't have to deal with useless girls like you, Hiyashi said as he went back to his work. She slammed the door as hard as she could, only making a really loud sound since she wasn't strong enough to actually break it. Walking to her room, she saw a hawk sitting outside her window. Quickly shutting her door, she ran over and opened the window, letting the bird in before it was seen. The hawk looked at her. Hanabi, have you been crying? It asked. The 5-year-old quickly wiped her face again. Don't be silly, Fran, of course I wasn't crying, I'm a big girl and big girls don't cry, she said. What did he do this time? The Fran asked. Hanabi sighed and told her what happened. Well, I have something that will cheer you up, Fran said. Hanabi took the letter off the hawk's leg and doll off her back. Wow, this is so pretty, she said, looking at it. Looking at the letter, she realized it was simple and to the point. Happy birthday, Hanabi, was all it said. Flashback ends. Looking at the hawk, she pulled out a scroll, pen and wrote 3 words on the paper, then tied it to the hawk. Break. Kushina watched as her genins trained in taijutsu. Haku decided to join them to make it even and was currently fighting Hinata. Kasumi walked up to them. So what is your plans here? Will you stay or leave and prepare for the exams? She asked. We are going to stay here and help Wave get back on their feet. I'm not sure about the exams, they are in Konoha and I don't want them going back there anytime soon. Kushina then looked at her. What about you? Do you have any genins to put in the exams? She asked. Not unless Haku agrees to come back to Kiri with me. I only have 2 genin level kunoichis who is ready for the exams, everyone else is already chunin or higher or too young, Kasumi said. I think I can convince her to go with you for a few weeks, Kushina said. As they continued to watch them train, Kushina noticed the hawk floating above Hinata. Giving a whistle and holding her arm out, the hawk flew to her. Sorry, you will have to wait here with me until she is finished training or give me the message for her, she said. I think I will wait, there is some things she needs to know, the bird told Kushina. Moving her arms so the bird could rest on her shoulder, she nodded. That's fine, they should be finished soon, she said. 15 minutes later, the 4 stopped training, all too tired to stand. Hinata, you have a message, Kushina called out. Before I give you the letter, I should tell you what she want. As you know, today is Hanabi's birthday, but no one has so much as acknowledged her. All she wants is to have someone to talk to, someone to play with, someone who she can trust to take care of her, but all she got is constant promises of death. Hiyashi told her he would rather be dead than have to take care of someone as worthless as her friend, then moved so Hinata could take the letter off her leg. Slowly taking the letter, Hinata read it out loud. Come get me. 3 words, 3 simple words, but they hit them all like a ton of bricks. Looking down at the paper, everyone could see the tear droppings that covered it. 3 little words that made Hinata's blood boil. She wanted to go save her sister now, but one look at Kushina made her hold her tongue. Is there anything else we should know? Kushina asked. Hanabi is terrified to cry, Franz said, then she was gone. Hinata balled her hands, taking some dirt with them as tears fell off her face. Hanabi, she choked out. Tenten and Naruto didn't have a clue as to what to do. Neither had ever had to deal with something this serious. They looked to Kushina, but the look in her face was also one they never seen before, and it scared them. Kushina looked at her genins. I need to get you 3 ready for the Chunin exams. I'm doubling your training, she said. Hinata's head shot up. But, she was but of. There in Konoha, Kushina said, turning to Haku. She studied the girl for a while. I need you to go with Kasumi and be her genin for these exams, she finally said. Haku wanted to argue but knew it was better to keep shut, so she just nodded in agreement. Kasumi stood. Let's go, Haku, she said. Just because I agreed with this doesn't mean you can tell me what to do. I'm going with Kushina after the exams, Haku stated. Well, until then you're my genin, so you will do what I say, Kasumi retorted. Haku, will you just do this? It's only for a month, Kushina said. Fine, but I don't have to like it, Haku huffed. Now can we go, Haku? We need to find this Gato guy and fix Wave, Kasumi said. Break. A week later, Team Kakashi was at the bridge with Tanzuna. Everything was going fine until the bridge was covered by fog. Before anyone could say or do anything, the fog was gone and a surprised Kakashi and Zabuza looked at the newcomer. Zabuza, leave Wave now, the Kunoichi said in a commanding voice. Zabuza looked at her. You look familiar, he said. If it's not a problem with you, me and Zabuza have some things to finish here, Kakashi said. The Kunoichi tossed Gato's head in front of Zabuza. You have no reason to stay, now leave while you have a chance, she said. You killed my money, Zabuza said, looking at Gato's head. I'm only going to tell you one more time, leave or I will kill you, she said. Kakashi-sensei, who is that Kunoichi? A confused Sakura asked. I'm not sure. Stay alert, Kakashi said. Kasumi, leave this to us. You did enough, another Kunoichi said as she walked across the water with 4 genins behind her. Kasumi, as in Kasumi Nitsuko of the Nitsuko clan, Zabuza asked in surprise. I thought all you were killed off, he added. They were. I'm the last one, Kasumi said. Jumping onto the bridge and landing next to Kasumi was Kushina, Naruto, Hinata, Tenten, and Haku. Haku, I was wondering where you went, Zabuza said. Don't speak to me as if you missed me, Haku said with a glare. You should be careful who you look at like that, you might get into trouble, Zabuza said while grabbing his cleaver. Holy shit, I want one of those, Naruto said. Mita, Tenten said as she drooled looking at the weapon. I have heard of those but never actually seen one, she added. Not now, Kushina said. Do you have a problem with us? Sasuke asked the smallest ninja on the bridge. In fact I do, Hinata replied with as much hate as she could produce. What did we do to you? Sakura asked confused. Hinata just continued to glare, fighting not to activate her Byakugan. That was a secret until the exams. Sasuke matched her glare with one of his own. Naruto looked over at them. Akamaru, he said. The Inu looked from Kiba's hood and saw Naruto. Jumping out, it shocked the Konoha's ninjas by running up to Naruto and ing him. How have you been? Naruto laughed as he petted the Inu. Akamaru, what are you doing? Kiba said. And why do you smell like kitsune? He added. You better go back, Naruto said. Haku, get over here and I will forgive you for running away, Zabuza said. I didn't run away, I just opened my eyes and finally saw clearly who you are, Haku replied. I see, Zabuza said. He then picked up his cleaver and held it towards Haku. Your funeral, he said. Zabuza, Kushina said in a commanding voice, making everyone look at her. I'm your opponent, not Haku, she said, pulling off her own katana. Zabuza looked at her. Kushina Uzumaki, also known as the Red Sand, what problems do you have with me? He asked. Oh, just protecting my youngest sister, Kushina said, shrugging as she stepped in front of Haku. I guess I'm going to have to go through you first, Zabuza said. Zabuza-sama, we will take care of the others, one of the ninjas with him said. Tenten pulled a katana off her back. Scorpion, try not to break it this time, she said, tossing it to Naruto. Not making any promises, cat, Naruto said. You better not break it, Tenten growled out, effectively scaring Naruto. Cat and Scorpion, not now, Hinata whispered to her older siblings. We are still here, Sasuke growled out. We can smell you, Hinata said without looking at him. You will pay for that comment, Sasuke growled. A hummingbird, Hinata said, completely ignoring him as the bird floated in front of her. Hinata reached out to touch the small yellow bird when everything slowed down as a shuriken came spinning at the bird and sliced through it in a clean, easy cut. Don't ignore me, Sasuke growled. Hinata caught the bird in her hands. Why? What did this bird do to you? She glared at Sasuke. What did this hummingbird do to you, damn Uchiha? She yelled at the top of her lungs. Tenten and Naruto looked at the dead bird and looked at each other. Oh shit, they both said, and slowly backed away from their younger sister. They quickly learned, mainly from Kankuro, that you never harm a bird around Hinata or you would likely end up in the hospital for weeks, and that was if she liked you. If not, well, the Uchiha would find out soon enough. Everyone looked at Hinata at the sudden burst of chakra that came from her. What the hell? Zabuza said. Which one of you hurt a bird? Kushina asked. It's not hurt, it's dead, Hinata said as she sat it down on the ground. Well, pervert, looks like you're going home with one less genin, Kushina said, then went back to attacking Zabuza without another thought. The others watched Hinata as she grabbed the rose sitting in her hair, then she was gone, no trace of chakra, no dust flying off the ground, no breeze as she moved, nothing. It was as if she vanished of the face of the earth. Then blood was seen coming from Sasuke as Hinata's whip came across his chest. Hinata brought her whip at him again, this time aiming for his neck, but was stopped by Kakashi as he grabbed her whip. Wrong move, she said as thorns 6 inches long extended out and into his hand. Cat, can you take both the oink-haired girl and Akamaru's partner? Naruto asked. Yay. Go help Haku, Tenten said. Kasumi appeared between Hinata and Kakashi. Looks like I'm going to have to fight, she then sighed. Things would have been so much easier if you would have let us deal with Zabuza, then went about our business, she said as she got into her stance. Kakashi looked at his hand. Damn, I can't mold chakra right with my hand like this. He then looked at Hinata. What is in that whip? Has to be some type of poison, he thought. Sasuke, be careful, her whip has some type of poison in it, he warned. Hinata zoomed past the 2 Junins and attacked with reckless abandon as Sasuke had his Sharingan active and 2 kunais in his hands blocking the whip. With the control she had at enlarging and shrinking the whip at her will, getting close to her was impossible as Sasuke was finding out. Hinata spent a round with her whip and quickly turned it back into a rose, surprising Sasuke as she punched him hard in the nose, sending him back. Rose whip, she called out and wrapped it around Sasuke's leg and swung him across the bridge, making Kushina jump back from Zabuza as the genin hit the ground between the two. A shadow appeared above them. Thorns of death, Hinata called out as she twirled her whip around her, shooting off hundreds of thorns. Before they could reach him, a pink blur appeared and started to block the thorns with 2 kunais. Once the thorns stopped, Sakura stood then with her 2 kunais and about 50 thorns in her body. I don't need protection from a weakling like you, Sasuke said as he got up and roughly pushed Sakura off to the side. Hinata dropped to one knee as her chakra was almost gone. She hated that no matter how hard she trained, she always had less chakra than Naruto, Tenten, Gaara, and Temari. She knew she would never have as much as Naruto and Gaara, but it still pissed her off that her chakra was so low. Yes, she had more chakra than Kankuro, but that was because she was lazy as hell and barely took training seriously. Sasuke slowly approached her, then fell face first suddenly. "About time it kicked in," Hinata whispered. "What did you do to me?" Sasuke demanded. "A poison that paralyzes your body flows through my whip," Hinata said. "Shit. Kiba, get Sakura," Kakashi ordered as he separated from Kasumi and grabbed Sasuke before he too was paralyzed. "Let's go," Zabuza said, and jumped away with all the confusion along with his two ninjas. The rest of ninjas sat on the bridge out of breath and chakra. "That was intense," Tenten said. "I don't think it's over," Kasumi said as she spotted hundreds of people running up to them with swords drawn. Soon they was surrounded. "You killed our meal ticket, now pay with your lives," one of them yelled. "Anyone have enough chakra to handle them?" Kushina asked. "I can barely move," Naruto said. "I think that pink-haired girl poisoned me," Tenten said, trying to get up. "Haku," Kasumi and Kushina said at the same time. "I think she passed out," Hinata said, poking the girl. The two Junins sighed. "Think we can talk them out of killing us?" Kasumi asked. Kushina looked at them. "They look pissed. I don't think talk NG will get us out of this," she said. Soon the samurais ran at them ready to kill. "Well, at least we was able to free this country from Gato," Kushina said. The closest samurai was about to bring his sword down on Kushina, poised to kill as she looked him in the eye, not showing any fear, but glaring at him with hate. Just as the sword was about to touch him, his entire body was covered with sand coffin, sand burial, they heard. Then there was a spray of blood all over Kushina. Gaara, Temari, Kankuro, and Baki appeared between their friends and the samurais. "This is your only chance to leave or we will kill you all," Baki said. One samurai ran straight at Gaara. "Sand coffin," he said, and killed him before he took 5 steps. The rest of the samurais ran before they too was killed. "Never thought I would see the day when Kushina-sensei was beat," Temari said. "Nice to see you to Temari," Kushina said. "The hummingbird is the smallest bird and it flaps its wings the fastest out of all the birds," Hinata said. "Hinata, will you just bury the bird?" Tenten asked. Hinata shot her a glare. "I didn't say anything when you mourned about that cat that was killed, did I?" she snapped. "Fine. Just hurry up. I would like to get back to the hotel," Tenten said. "I'm hungry," Naruto said. Gaara looked at Naruto. "Why didn't you use Kyuubi? You could have took care of them easily," he asked. "Konoha was here," Naruto said. "Oh," was all Gaara said as he knew about them trying to spy on Naruto. "You all look like hell, and who is the new chicks?" Kankuro asked. "You're pathetic," Temari said, smacking him with her fan. "Baki, you're putting them in the exams. We need to go get Hanabi," Kushina said, her serious mode. Baki looked at Hinata, then back at Kushina. "They are next month, right?" he asked, immediately understanding why she told him. "Yes," was all Kushina said. "Good. They need a few search and rescue missions to get ready," Baki said. Kushina then turned to Kankuro, who immediately took notice and gulped, wondering what he did wrong this time. "Kankuro, we are from this moment on preparing for a search and rescue mission. If you mess up or don't take this serious, you can kiss your ninja career goodbye." Fixing a cold glare at him to make sure he knew she wasn't playing. "Do I make myself clear?" she asked. "Yes, ma'am," he stuttered out. "Good. Now let's get to our hotel room so we can discuss what our main target is for this mission," Kushina said. Break. Tsunade walked out her mini lab in the Uzumaki compound and sat in the yard with Anko, Kurenai, and Yugo. The biggest advantage of having a kid with Naruto would be if Hinata had a kid with him, she said. "Why?" Kurenai asked. "Because with his ability to control sand and Hinata's Byakugan, their kid will be able to use sand in ways Naruto can only dream of," Tsunade said. "Meaning that they will be able to use the sand to hit chakra points?" Yugo asked. "Exactly," Tsunade said. "What about Temari and Tenten?" Anko asked. "I'm not entirely sure. I'm still running tests, but one thing is for sure. Any kids with Tenten will have an unlimited supply of weapons to throw, Tsunade said. Break. Hanabi laid in her prison, I mean room as there was a knock on her door. Your dinner is served, the person said, then walked away. Hanabi walked to the door and looked at the tray and promptly shut the door. Walking to the window, she opened it and a hawk immediately flew in. What's wrong? Ran asked. I'm hungry, Hanabi said. I'll bring you back some food, Fran said and flew off. Break. Everyone finally made it back to the hotel room and Haku was up and alert, and far away from Kenkiro. Kushina cleared her throat. Our objective for the next month is to prepare to fight all of Konoha if we have to. Of course we will have Suna behind us, but that is not enough. We need to double, even triple our training to be prepared, she said. Kushina-sensei, who exactly is our target? Kenkiro asked. My sister, Hinata said, getting their attention. Hanabi Hyuga, she said. My sister, Hinata said, getting their attention. Hanabi Hyuga, she said. Team Baki looked at her in surprise. I didn't know you had a sister, Kenkiro said, showing his surprise. No one in Suna did except those who needed to know, Kushina informed them. So how will we go about getting her out of Konoha? Tamari asked. We will have Hinata sneak into the Hyuga compound and collect information as soon as we get there. From the information she gather, either me or Anko will go in at night before we leave and kidnap her, Kushina said. Why can't I just get her when I go in? Hinata asked. Because you also have to do the Chunin exam. We won't waste a perfectly good chance for you all to become Chunins and get revenge on them by beating all their genins, Kushina said. At least let me go see her when I get in, Hinata asked. What you do once you're inside the compound is up to you, just don't blow your cover, Kushina told her. I won't, Hinata said. Good. Now as for training, I'm going to focus on increasing Hinata's chakra. While Naruto continued to master our bloodline, Tenten, I want you to put your weapon-making ability to good use in the month we have, Kushina said. Tenten couldn't help but smile brightly. She never actually had permission to openly create weapons. I'm going to need some better material then, she said. Don't worry, Anko, Kurenai, and Yugo had some metals shipped in from all around the shinobi world. It should be there when we get back, Kushina said. Break. Hanabi sat in the conference room while a meeting was going on about her future. Not far from her was the visitors from Iowa. The boy was a year older than her and with him was his mother. The entire meeting was about a peace treaty and they planned using her as a means of showing they wanted peace between the two countries. After that she lost interest and started to wonder how long it would be until she was taken from this hell of a life she lived. Break. After much work, Kushina finally was able to find out the location of the meetings between the Kazekage and Orochimaru. After it was found out they was meeting, the meeting place was changed and it took almost 5 years to find it. Waking closer, she listened in on their conversation. I plan to attack Konoha during these exams. I require your help, the Kazekage said. I will agree to help you, but I require payment for my services, Orochimaru said after a few minutes. After we destroy Konoha we will split their money. That should be enough payment, the Kazekage said. Kushina quickly left, not needing to hear any more. Break. Kushina appeared in the council's meeting room. How did your investigation go? I hope you're making progress. Your time is almost up, an elder said. Kushina couldn't help the smile that spread across her face. In fact, I have all the information I need, and we won't need to kill the Kazekage, just appoint a new leader, she said. Oh, and what news did you hear? The elder asked. I found out that the Kazekage planned to attack Konoha at the Chunin exams, she told them. I may not like them, but Konoha is too large for us to take on at the moment, Chio said. I understand that, but the Kazekage has requested the help of Orochimaru, Kushina said. This will destroy us, an elder said. I have a plan. We should continue as if we agree with the attack, but secretly appoint a new Kazekage, and when the attack start the new Kazekage will take over and pull us out of Konoha, so we won't have any part of this and get rid of both the current Kazekage and Orochimaru, Kushina suggested. This has nothing to do with you wanting to kidnap the Hyuga, an elder asked. Her name is Hanabi and I would be lying if I said I wouldn't use this distraction to my advantage, Kushina said. She never liked that particular elder. We will discuss this over and inform you of our decision and the new case cage, Chio said. Break. Kushina stood in front of her team as they got ready to leave. Everyone got everything they need, she asked. Yes, they three genins answered together. Anko, Kurenai, and Yugo, Kushina asked. I'm ready as ever, Anko said. Kurenai and Yugo just nodded. Kushina, and Messenger called out. Yes, Kushina answered. The council agreed with your plan. The new case cage will be you, he said, then vanished. Break. Jumping through the trees towards the meeting spot, the group of Konoha ninjas stopped when they realized that the ninjas they was escorting wasn't there. Now what? The blonde asked. Just be patient. We are early, her sensei said. Just then a group of ninjas landed in front of them. One appeared in front of the blonde. Hello miss, I'm Scorpion, may I have your name? He asked, grabbing her hand and kissing it. The kunoichi blushed at the unexpected interaction. I'm Ino, nice to meet you, she said, blushing. Unhand her, someone said from the branch above them. Looking up at the shinobi, oh sorry, I didn't realize she had a boyfriend, he said. She is not my girlfriend, the shinobi said. Well, if she isn't your girlfriend, then who are you to tell me I can't talk to her? Scorpion asked. She is way out of your league, the shinobi said. Scorpion tilted his head to the side with a very confused look on his face while trying to figure out what that means. Raptor, he asked. It means you have no chance at getting her to notice you, she told him. Well, I'm sure Ino-chan is old enough to determine who she would want to date and who she wouldn't, Scorpion said. I won't tell you again, unhand her, the shinobi said. You know I don't like the tone you're taking with me, Scorpion said, all the while still smiling. Scorpion here, Kat said, tossing him a small weapon. It needs to be tested, she whispered. A fan, Scorpion said in confusion, opening the weapon. Do not ignore me or you all will pay, the shinobi said. Kissing Ino's hand again, I'll be back, he said. Vanishing, he shocked the shinobi by appearing right in his face, then quickly jumped back down in shock. Shit, he said, pointing to him, unable to form a complete sentence. What, realized you can't match me? The shinobi asked in an arrogant way. Scorpion, what's wrong? Raptor asked. Yay, it takes a lot to get this kind of reaction out of you, Kat said. Scorpion looked at Raptor, then back at the shinobi. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're a Hyuga, right? He asked after calming down. That's correct, the shinobi said. I'm the strongest Hyuga in the village besides the elders, he added. I see, then you wouldn't mind a little test, Scorpion said. Test? The Hyuga repeated. Sandstorm, Scorpion said, swinging the fan at the Hyuga. Whoa, it's a lot easier with this, the NWITH hand signs, he commented. Scorpion, stop, Kushina said. Okay sensei, Scorpion said, completely forgetting about the Hyuga. We should get going. Neji, where is your team? The Konoha Junin finally said. They are close, Neji said, then jumped off. Man, I think that Hyuga hit me when I first jumped up to his face, Scorpion said. You will be fine, it's nothing that won't go away in a few minutes, Raptor said. So Ino-chan, how about I treat you to lunch once we get back to your village? I'll pay, Scorpion asked. Ino turned and smiled at him. I'll have to think about it, she said, then jumped off. I think I'm in love, Scorpion said. It's just a crush, Kushina said while watching Ino. Both Hinata and Tenten watched Ino, but for different reasons. She was going to have to prove herself before she was able to date their brother. Break. They arrived at the village and saw Neji waiting for them. Ino, let's go, he said. You know, for someone from a clan like the Hyugas, you're rude, Scorpion said. Neji hit him with the Hyuga glare. You will know your place in my village, and you will stay away from Ino if you know what's good for you, he said. Naruto matched his glare. My place is wherever the hell I want it to be, and until Ino-chan tells me different, nothing you say will chase me away, he said. Don't test your luck. Let's go, Ino. Now, Neji said. Ino glared at him. No, she said. What? Neji asked. I said no, you don't own me. Besides, Scorpion-kun asked me out to lunch and I just got hungry, Ino said and walked over to Scorpion. Neji took a step towards her, but was stopped by Scorpion stepping forward. Do you really want to challenge me? He asked while the earth beneath him started to break up into sand and raise into the air. Neji looked at his options and knew the red head would be hard to handle by himself, but his two teammates looked as if they would attack at a moment's notice and was proved right as the smallest one vanished and stuck a forced palm into his stomach, knocking the air out of him. Do not piss us off or you will pay dearly, she said. She was about to strike again but was stopped by her team. Raptor, get yourself under control, Cat said. Well, don't cause too much trouble. We are going to get a hotel. Raptor, don't forget what I told you, Kushina said as the four Junins walked away. Break. Ino walked them to a restaurant. This is my favorite restaurant in the entire village, she said. Well, let's go in, I'm hungry, Scorpion said. You're always hungry, Cat commented. So Ino-chan, what's with the Hyuga? Scorpion asked. We are supposed to be dating, she said as if she hated the thought of it. Really? From the sound of it, you hate him, Scorpion said as Cat and Raptor just sat back and listened. I do, she said. If you don't mind, will you tell me why besides the obvious? Scorpion asked. Well, it all started around the time I was 5. At the time I was considered one of the 2 princesses of Konoha along with Hinata Hyuga, the heir to the Hyuga clan. Well, once she was found dead I became the princess of Konoha and Neji became the heir to the Hyuga clan. Since then the village has put it in our heads that we are to be together if the village is to succeed. The village literally forced him on me without asking my opinion or the opinion of my father, she told him. Hinata's head perked up at hearing her name. I heard about that. Didn't she have a sister? She asked. Yay, Hanabi. Sweet girl, but I fear for her life sometimes. Hiyashi can be a bit overbearing, Ino said. Overbearing is an understatement, Raptor mumbled. Tell me more about the Hyugas, Scorpion asked. You're on a date with me but you want to know about someone else, Ino asked in a teasing tone. Hey, I got to know who my competition is if I want to go on another date with you, Scorpion defended. Trust me, you have no competition from the Hyugas. In fact, the only competition you for my heart is my overprotective father, Ino told him. Break. Hinata sat across from the Hyuga compound wondering how she would get in. She already stole a Hittite from a sleeping shinobi and got her hands on the standard Hyuga clothes, but she still had no way in, at least not until she saw a bunch of Hyugas running towards the compound and joined them. You all head straight to the council meeting, the leader of them yelled. Once actually in the main part of the compound, she quickly separated and walked the halls as if she was a servant. Hey you, someone called from the kitchen. Turning and gulping, she answered, yes, as quickly as she could. Take this to Hanabi's room and be quick about it, the cook said. She looked at the slop that was on the tray and sneered. Quickly calming herself, what room is she in? I'm new to the main house, she asked. At the top, can't miss it. It's the only room up there, he replied as he waved her away. Quickly making her way to the top, she knocked on the door. Hanabi, your lunch is ready, she called. You know the rules, sit it there and come back in 15 minutes to get it, she heard. Knocking again. Hanabi, it's me, Hinata. Open the door, she said. She heard some quick movements and the door flew open. I knew you would come, the younger sister said as she threw herself into her older sister's arms. Of course I was coming back for you. I just needed to wait until the right time, Hinata replied. Hanabi pulled her into her room then looked her over. You here for the Chunin exams? She asked. Yay, Anko, Kurenai, and Yugo will be here to kidnap you before we leave, so make sure you have everything packed by then, Hinata said. Will I see you again before then? Hanabi asked. If you want, you still have Fran, right? She can come tell me anytime you want to see me, Hinata said. Break. The Genins was standing in front of a gated forest waiting for the second exam to begin. Hey Tamari, can I borrow your fan? Scorpion asked. No, Tamari replied. Come on. I want to fly on it again. I won't break it, Scorpion said. You said that last time, Tamari replied. You're no fun, he said, then sped off in a different direction. As he was running, he spotted Ino and ran up to her. Hello, princess, I'm glad you made it this far in these exams, he said, bowing to her. Ino giggled while blushing from the attention he was attracting to her. Hi, Scorpion, I'm glad you made it this far also, she replied. Here's to you making it past this part. He then kissed her hand. Okay, which one of you gave Scorpion sugar again? Kat yelled at the other four Sunagenins. Wasn't me, Gaara said while stuffing his face with candy. Gaara, the Sunagenins yelled. What? Gaara asked innocently. It's not affecting me. I didn't know it would affect him so much, he said while shrugging his shoulders. Didn't I tell you to stay away from Ino? They heard. Neji, you said a lot of crap that I wasn't listening to. I was taken by Ino-chan's beauty to pay you any attention, Scorpion said. You keep trying your luck and I will make you regret it, he said. You really don't know who I am, do you? Scorpion asked him seriously. It don't matter, by the end of these exams you will be dead, he said. Well, let me refresh your memory, Scorpion said. Scorpion, what are you doing? Kat yelled. 8 years ago you came across me in the forest and took it upon yourself to beat me for no reason, Scorpion said, ignoring her. Neji just looked at him. What are you talking about? He asked. A week later you was with Hiashi and I was coming out the hospital when he told you to demonstrate how much you learned in your first month of training, Scorpion said. Neji thought about that. What does that have to do with you though? If I recall, that boy was, he cut off. Naruto Uzumaki, Scorpion said for him. Please don't do this, Cat and Raptor mumbled. Everyone looked at him in confusion. What does that boy have to do with you? He is dead, Neji asked. Scorpion smirked. You would think that, he said, then held up a hand sign. Transform, he said. Then his hair changed color and he got his whisker marks back. Oh, don't look so surprised, Neji. I told you I would pay you back for what you did to me, he said. If you're alive, then that means. Ino said, then stopped looking at Raptor and Cat. You two are Tenten and Hinata, she asked. Great. You blew our cover, Raptor said in frustration as she transformed herself back to normal. Her eyes went from blue to their normal pale color and her hair changed from light blue to its normal indigo color. Well, at least we get to have some fun now, Kat said as her eyes changed from green to chocolate brown and her hair from blonde to its normal brown color. Everyone from Konoha stared at them as if they was looking at a ghost. Everyone else just looked confused. Naruto smirked. What's with the shocked look? Surprised your famed Byakugan couldn't spot our transformation jutsu, he asked. You're supposed to be dead, Ino stuttered out looking at them. Yay about that. I didn't feel like dying at the time, Naruto said, turning to Neji. Prepare for hell, he said, then walked back to his team. I need to inform Hiashi-sama about this, Neji said. Looks like we have some interesting opponents, someone commented. Break. Sitting on a branch in the forest, the two teams from Suna already had the scrolls they need plus more. Hey, I'm going to find Ino-chan, Naruto said. Not now, Naruto, Tenten said. She looked freaked. I want to make sure she is not mad at me for not telling her sooner, Naruto said. Fine. Let's make this quick, Tenten said. Byakugan, Hinata said. This way, she told them and took point, leading them through the forest. Break. Ino was sitting on a branch deep in thought. Ever since she found out Scorpion was Naruto, she'd been thinking if it was right to go on the date he asked her on, since he did lie to her. Biting her nails, she didn't know what to do. Ino, can you come on before we are found? He isn't worth you getting depressed over, her teammate said lazily. Shut up, Shikamaru. I happen to really be confused here and I don't need you breathing down my neck, she snapped at him. Troublesome woman, he mumbled. Someone's coming, their last teammate said. Relax, we are not here to fight, Hinata said as she walked out into the opening. Then why are you here? Ino asked. Actually, to talk to you, Hinata replied. I'm listening, Ino replied from her spot. Yay. But I don't trust your teammates, so can you come with me? Hinata asked. And I'm not sure I trust you, Ino retorted. Fair enough. Let me get the rest of my team, Hinata said and walked back into the forest. She won't come, we have to go to her, she told them. Walking back to the opening, the 6 ninjas walked out the forest. If it isn't the liar, Ino said with hurt in her voice. Ino-chan, I'm sorry, Naruto said. I don't want to hear your apology, she told him harshly. Please just listen to me, Naruto asked desperately. Why didn't you tell me? Did you think I would turn you down if I knew that you was really Naruto? Ino asked. Yay, Naruto said shyly. Do you think I'm that shallow? Yay, I knew the village hated you, but that don't give you the right to mislead me for your own purpose, Ino said angrily, and the worst part was that I really thought you could make me happy, she whispered. Ino-chan, Naruto started. No, don't talk to me again, Ino said, then jumped into the forest. Dropping his shoulders, Naruto turned and started walking in a different direction. Everyone watched him walk off. Where the hell are you going? Tenten finally asked. We already have the scroll. I'm going to the tower, Naruto replied. Go after her, Hinata said. You heard her. She don't want to talk to me, Naruto said. You, for someone who lives with a bunch of women, you know nothing about us, Temari said. What is that supposed to mean? Naruto asked. It means she wants you to go after her. Why do you think she looked back before she ran off? Hinata asked. If she wanted to talk to me, wouldn't have left, Naruto said. Naruto, if you don't go after her, she never will forgive you, Tenten said. Ino's being attacked, Hinata said. Break. Ino ran into the forest to think to herself. Sitting on a branch, she completely missed the group of Kumo ninjas that was slowly surrounding her. Sighing to herself, maybe I'm overreacting, she said out loud. Hearing a twig break, she jumped up and got in a defensive position. I know you're there, come out, she called out. It's too late to notice us, you're already surrounded and soon will be beat, one of them said. You should just give up and we might not kill you, another one said. You're the one who should give up, Ino said. Trying to act brave, the last said. Let's just finish her off now, the first said. Windstorm, they heard and was thrown back by a force of wind. The next thing they saw was an orange blur appeared in front of Ino. I will give you one chance to leave before I kill you for attacking Ino-chan, he said. Sand coffin, they heard and Gaara appeared behind the 3, killing them before they could move. Naruto turned to Ino. I'm sorry I didn't tell you. I was scared, he told her. How am I supposed to trust you if you're keeping secrets? She replied with a glare. I promise I won't keep any more secrets, Naruto said. Is that so? Ino asked. Yes, Naruto said. So there is nothing else you need to tell me? She asked. I don't think so, Naruto said while thinking it over. So you're not going to tell me you have a marriage contract with Hana? Ino asked. I was going to tell you about that, Naruto said. When? Ino asked, crossing her arms. Now, Naruto asked, more than stated. Ino just narrowed her eyes. Okay, I should have told you about that first, but in my defense, you are the first girl who I ever tried to date, and it wasn't even my idea to have a marriage contract with her. My mom did it, then told me. Not that I'm complaining, he told her truthfully. She looked at his team to see if he was telling the truth. At their nods, she turned back to him. Okay, continue, she told him. You see, me and my mom are the last of the Uzumaki clan and we both want to rebuild it, but we don't want to choose random girls who would help just to be part of the clan. We want girls who like me for me and not the clan, he said. I'll think about what you said. She then jumped off with her team. Man, girls are confusing, Naruto said as he watched her go. Let's just get to the tower, Temari said. Break. Being one of the first groups in the tower meant they had a lot of time to relax, and for Naruto worry about Ino. They was sitting in the eating area when Kushina walked up. I don't want to know why you did it, but you have better had a good reason for revealing yourself before I told you, she said. It was Naruto's fault, he let the Hyuga get to him, Tenten said. I was just letting him know that I'm going to destroy him for what he did to me, Naruto defended. There is nothing we can do about it now, just stay out of sight until the second part of the exam is over, Kushina said. Mom, I think I messed up with Ino-chan, Naruto said. What do you mean? Kushina asked. She was mad that I didn't tell her who I really am, and I think she is mad about me not telling her about Hana, Naruto said. This is why I told you not to do anything until after you reveal who you really are. I'll think of some way to give you a chance to make things right with her, Kushina said. Break. Ino's team finally made it to the tower with only a few hours to spare. She led her team to where all the passing genins was waiting and was surprised to see that Naruto and his teammates was back in their disguise. The Hokage stood up. Congratulations on making it this far. You all have advanced to the third and final round, which will be held in a month's time. Use this time to train hard, and just to get things started off, the first match will be Scorpion Uzumaki of Suna vs Neji Hyuga of Konoha. Good luck, he said. As Naruto and Neji glared at one another, everyone else started to leave. Finally, smirking, Neji vanished, leaving just the Suna ninjas in the room. Turning to everyone else, what now? Naruto asked. You go to every library, store, any place you can think of and grab any and every jutsu scroll. I don't care if it's a scroll for Henji, I want every scroll this village has. Hinata, try and get back into the Hyuga compound. If you get any resistance at all, find me, Anko, Kurenai, or you go immediately. Tenten, you are in charge of collecting weapons, lots and lots of weapons. Gaara, Tamari, and Kankuro, stay hidden and make sure no one tries to stop our plans, Kushina ordered. Break. Ino was walking out the forest of death, still in deep thought. She wanted to believe that Scorpion, or was it Naruto, his is stupid. I can't believe I'm thinking about him this much, she yelled. Princess, what's wrong? Her father asked, worried for her. Nothing, Dad, she told him. You sure? He replied. Yay. I need to figure this out myself, Ino said, looking at him with determination. Break. Hiyashi-sama, I have something to tell you, Neji said. Not now, I'm busy, Hiyashi responded. This is important, very important, Neji said. Okay, what's so important? Hiyashi asked. Naruto, Tenten, and Hinata are not dead, Neji said. What are you talking about? Hiyashi asked. Naruto, Hinata, and Tenten are in the village alive. They are part of Suna's genins. They go by Scorpion, Cat, and Raptor, and I believe that Hinata already been in contact with Hanabi, possible even inside the compound, Neji said. Impossible. How would she get into the compound? Hiyashi asked. Remember a week ago when you had everyone return back to the compound for that meeting about the exams? Neji asked. Hiyashi nodded. Increase the training, have a squad around Hanabi at all times, he said. Break. Hinata arrived at the Hyuga compound. She was surprised at the security that they had set up so quick. There was not one place on the compound wall that wasn't overlapped by 2 Hyuga elite guards. After circling the compound 3 times, she left in frustration. Break. Walking into the hotel room, she threw herself on the couch and let out a frustrated sigh. What's wrong? Kurenai asked as she went to comfort her daughter. Mom, this is bad, Hinata said. Just tell me what's wrong and we will try and fix it, Kurenai said. Well, Naruto, being stupid, showed who he really was just before the start of the second exam to every genin that was at the forest. Apparently Neji always beat him as a kid, and now the Hyugas have their entire compound under watch. There is no way to get in, and to make things worse, Ino is pissed at Naruto, and from what I saw, Hanabi has an entire squad of Hyugas watching her every move, Hinata told her. Anko let out a long whistle. Looks like we have our hands full now trying to get to the girl, she said. What do you suppose we should do? Yugo asked. Nothing like an unattainable challenge to get the best out of me, Anko said with a devious smile on her face. Every time you have that smile on your face, you have some crazy plan, Yugao then smirked. I want in, she said. Kurenai? Anko asked. Yay, I'm in, she replied. Okay, this is what we will do, Anko started. Break. Tenten stopped in front of the weapons shop and smirked. This is going to be so fun, she said to herself, then ran to the back. After picking the lock of the back door that led to the basement, she crept in and looked around. Yes, jackpot. New weapons to tinker around with, she said. She walked to the middle of the room and sat an extra large scroll in the middle, then grabbed a large scroll out of her pack and started to fill it. She came to a group of Chris Nagas and smiled. These should make an excellent weapon, she said, and put them in a separate scroll. Break. Arriving in the Hokage's library, Naruto looked around and saw a scroll sitting on a stand with glass over it. What do we have here? He asked out loud as he walked up to it. Edo Tensei. Never heard of it, he said. He then read the description and his eyes went wide. If I learn this, I can summon dead people, he said in surprise. Break. Finding a large opening by a waterfall, Naruto summoned 1,000 clones. I want you all to practice this jutsu until you can do it successfully. Every 30 minutes 5 of you will disperse so we can get your knowledge of the progress, he ordered. Already knowing the hand signs and how the jutsu is supposed to work from reading it over a few times, the clones got to work. Break. Tenten walked into the hotel to Naruto cowering in a corner with Hinata glaring at him with her Byakugan active as she was slowly walking up to him. Hey, what's going on? She asked. He is going to pay for blowing our cover. Now I can't get to my sister, Hinata as she continued to approach him. Hinata, calm down. Everything will work out. Besides, if you kill him then you won't be able to beat him senseless during training, Tenten said. Huffing, she threw Naruto one last glare, then went back to the couch. Now, I found some great weapons we can put to use now, she told them, and started to unseal the extra large scroll showing the 20 large scrolls she had filled. And I haven't even went to the Anbu weapons place yet, she told them. Well, I went to the Hokage's library and have over 1,000 jutsus all sorted by type, Naruto said, unsealing his extra large scroll. Shortly after, Tamari, Gaara, and Kankuro walked in. Come get some weapons and jutsu scrolls, Naruto said happily. You two work fast, Tamari said with a smile. We are not finished, Tenten said, looking through a Raiden scroll. Toss me a Fuden scroll, Tamari said. Break. Hours later, Baki walked in on a room that had scrolls scattered everywhere. Why are scrolls all over the floor? He asked. We are reading them, they are jutsu scrolls, Hinata said while looking at a high-level Suiden scroll. I see, Baki said as he picked up a scroll. Eternal Wind Dragon, he read. Where did you get these scrolls? They all look like they are B ranked and higher, he asked. The Hokage's library. You know, I thought it would have more security than it has, Naruto said. How much security did it have? Baki asked. None, Naruto said. Kushina walked in the hotel with dinner in her arms and immediately stopped. What? Why? Oh, never mind, clear a space so we can eat, she said, trying to hide her smile. Hey mom, did you know there is a scroll that can summon dead people? Naruto asked. Yay. Edo Tensei, why? Kushina asked. Well, I hope you don't mind. I'm trying to learn it, Naruto said. Where is the scroll? I want to learn it, Tenten said. Oh hell, Kushina said as the rest of the genins agreed with Tenten. Just remember that jutsu is very dangerous. Don't attempt it without knowing the risks of it, she added. We want. They all said, reading the scroll for the jutsu. Man, this requires a lot of chakra, Hinata added. I have 1,000 clones practicing it, Naruto said. Summoning no jutsu, Gaara said. Find an open place, summon 1,000 clones and practice the jutsu, he said. You two are lucky you have almost an unlimited amount of chakra, Tenten said. You just have to train harder. I have a way to increase your chakra within a month, Anko said, walking in the room. What's that? Kushina asked, curious. Smirking, Anko eyed the genins. Running up a waterfall, she said. What, you know how dangerous that is? Kushina asked. Yay. I did it as a genin. How do you think I have so much chakra? Anko asked. Do I have to do it? Naruto asked. You all will do it, Anko said. Break. A week later, a Chunin ran into the office. Hokage-sama, someone broke into the Hokage's library, he yelled. What? How did this happen? What's missing? he demanded. Everything. There is not one scroll left in the library, the Chunin said. What? Call the council, he demanded. Soon the meeting was underway. Why did you call us here? Danzo asked. Someone broke into the Hokage's library and stole everything, the Hokage said. How is that possible? Inoichi asked. I'm not sure. Have any of you heard anything suspicious we should know about? The Hokage asked. Well, Neji did mention that 3 people thought dead as alive, Hiashi said. Who? The Hokage asked. Naruto Uzumaki, Hinata Hyuga, and Tenten, Hiashi said. What impossible? Someone yelled. Hokage-sama, there was another break-in, an Anbu said, appearing in the room. Where? The Hokage asked. The Uchiha compound. Everything was taken, the only thing left is the houses themselves, even the old clothes are gone, the Anbu said. Hokage-sama, the Senju compound was broken into, and like the Uchiha compound everything was taken, another Anbu said. Hokage-sama, the Namikaze compound was broken into and everything was stolen, yet another Anbu said. Hokage-sama, the Hitaki compound was broken into and everything is gone, another Anbu said. Hokage-sama, someone broke into my shop and stole all the weapons out my basement, the owner of the weapons shop yelled, running into the room. The Hokage rubbed his temples. Do we know who is doing it? He asked. That's the problem. Witnesses said that Izuna Uchiha was seen going in the Uchiha compound right before everything came up missing, the Anbu said. The same with the Senju with Hashirama and Tobarama Senju, another Anbu said. And Minato was seen entering the Namikaze compound, another Anbu said. Tsukumo Hitaki was seen going in the Hitaki compound, the last Anbu said. Break. Jiraiya walked into the village and looked around. What's with the panic? He asked no one in particular. As he walked he noticed a few people who should be dead, like 3 of the 4 Hokages and Uchiha and an Hitaki. Confused he continued to walk through the village. Ero Sanin, he heard and turned to see Naruto. Hey, what's going on? Jiraiya asked. Oh, nothing you should worry about. I'm sure if you knew then the Hokage would try and get you to talk, so what brings you here? Naruto asked. Actually Kushina asked me to bring the toad summon so you can sign it, Jiraiya said, and why are you walking around with a mask on? He added. It's fun to scare the crap out of people. I lost me temper and revealed who I am, Naruto said. Break. Wow, Naruto and Gaara, I'm surprised you both learned the jutsu that fast, Kushina said with pride. Yay, a few thousand clones in a week is a lot of training, Naruto said. Good idea of using them to rob the village, Baki said. Yay, just another one of my brilliant ideas, Kushina boasted. Hey mom, I saw Ero Sanin and signed the toad summon, Naruto said. Really, can you summon toads now? Kushina asked. Yup. One of them gave me this scroll and told me to give it to you, Naruto said, tossing her a scroll. Catching the scroll she opened it. Naruto, this is the scroll for the Hiraishin no Jutsu. Why did the toad tell you to give it to me? Kushina asked. No clue. Can I learn it now? Naruto asked. Sure. Kushina tossed the scroll back. Reading the scroll he unsealed one of the long 3-pronged kunais and added his chakra into it. The kunai glowed and the word Naruto appeared on the kunai and a scroll popped out with Naruto's name on it. Opening the scroll, hundreds of smaller 3-pronged kunais fell out. I guess that's all I had to do. It says that Dad made it so that the kunai only reacts to Namikaze's blood, he said. Well, try it, Kushina said, picking up one of the many kunais that was over the floor and throwing it on the ceiling. After concentrating hard he vanished in a streak of yellow but stopped halfway there and hit the ground hard. You need practice, summon your clones again, Kushina said. Break. The council was in chaos. Everywhere you turned someone was being robbed by someone who was supposed to be dead, the latest victim, Danzo, and he was robbed by Anko herself. Heishi had a bone to pick with him. The Hokage did a good job at keeping the village under control and not letting the news of the robberies get out to the public. Security for the entire village had been increased. Naruto slipped through the village unnoticed as he approached the Yamanaka compound. Where do you think you're going? He heard. Ino-chan, he said, spinning around. What do you want, Scorpion, or should I call you Naruto? She asked, crossing her arms. I don't really want to see you at the moment, she added. I know you're mad, but let me at least explain myself, Naruto asked. I'm listening, Ino said. Can we go somewhere private? Naruto asked as he constantly looked over his shoulder to make sure he wasn't being watched. She led him inside the compound and to her room. My father isn't going to be home for an hour, so you have 45 minutes starting now, she told him. First, I want to say I'm sorry, and I should have told you from the beginning who I was, but you have to understand I was so afraid that you would turn me down that I panicked, Naruto said. That don't explain why you lied to me, Ino said. Naruto sighed. Well, it was because when I was 5, I saw you at the park one day and I knew I wasn't supposed to be there, but I just wanted to say hi to you. That's when some guy, I think it was your father, he caught me and told me to stay away from you if I want to continue to live. I saw this as my chance to at least to get to know you and maybe be friends, he told her. So you lied because of something that happened when you was 5 involving my father? Ino asked. Yay, Naruto said. Ino sat quietly for a moment. I have to think about this. I'll find you later and we can continue to talk, she said. Okay, bye Ino-chan, Naruto said. Wait, do you have anything to do with these robberies? She asked. Promise not to tell anyone? He asked. Promise? Ino smiled. Edo Tensei, he called and summoned the 4th Hokage. Yondaime Hokage. How did you summon him? Ino asked in surprise. It's a dead summon, Naruto said. Break. Tenten and Hinata stood in a clearing. Edo Tensei Tenten called and was able to summon her dead mother. It worked, she said in surprise. Congratulations, Hinata said. Can you do it? Tenten asked. Not yet. I don't have enough chakra, Hinata said. Break. A week before the final exams, a Junin ran into Orochimaru. I'm not here to kill you but to warn you. Suna is preparing to attack Konoha, Orochimaru said. Orochimaru, are you sure about this information? Someone asked. Of course, I want Suna gone as much as you do. They are going to attack during the 3rd part of the exams, Orochimaru said. From where? The figure asked. The south, Orochimaru said, then vanished. Break. After going south of the village to make sure that the information was correct, a Junin ran into the Hokage's office. Hokage-sama, Suna is marching from the south. They are prepared to strike at a moment's notice, he said. Are you sure about this? The Hokage asked. Yes, I saw their entire army myself, the Junin said. Okay, prepare everyone, we will strike them in a few days, the Hokage said. Break. Yugo ran in the hotel with urgency. Kushina, we have a problem. Konoha somehow found out about the attack and is preparing to strike within a few days, she said. What? Gather everyone here now, Kushina said as she jumped out the window. Break. Ino, I told you to stay from those Suna nins, her father said. But Dad, what's wrong with them? We are allies, Ino protested. Since you want to argue, you're grounded until they leave. Don't leave this compound, her father said, then left. Ino screamed in frustration. Break. Alright, we need to get out of here while we can. Somehow they found out about the attack, Kushina said. What about Hanabi? Hinata asked. We will get her out somehow, Kushina said. I have an idea, Naruto said. That's a first, Kankuro said. Not now. What's your idea? Kushina asked. Well, me, Hinata, and Tienten can use the invisibility jutsu Kurenai taught us to sneak in and out of the Hyuga compound with Hanabi, Naruto said. Good idea. You 3 go, we will wait around the compound for you, Kushina said. They got everything and sealed it in a scroll and jumped out the window. Break. After making their way into the compound and to Hanabi's room, they jumped out the window. I didn't think it was this high up before I suggested we jump, Naruto said mid-fall. Not now, we have company, Tenten said. Hanabi, you're choking me, Hinata said. So you finally got enough balls to try and sneak her out, Neji said. My balls are bigger than yours, Naruto responded. I'm going to kill you, Neji said. I have been waiting to knock you around, Naruto responded while stepping towards him. Neji sped towards Naruto and kicked him in the air. Using this chance he threw a kunai where his mother was and landed on his back. You're pathetic, Neji said. Getting up, Naruto smirked. Do you really think I'm stupid enough to take Hanabi and pick a fight while still in the Hyuga compound, do you? He asked while more and more Hyugas surrounded them. Actually yes I do, Neji said. You're right, that is something I would do. But not now, we have to go. Naruto then went through some hand signs. Fuden. Whirlwind he called, and the resulting jutsu pushed all the Hyugas away. Later, he said, and grabbed Hinata's and Tenten's hand and vanished in a yellow streak, surprising all the Hyugas. Took long enough, Kushina said. Yay. We couldn't get the jutsu to cover Hanabi, Hinata said. Can I go back and kick Neji's? Naruto asked. Not now, let's go, Kushina said. Where do you think you're going? They heard. Turning, they looked straight at the Hokage. I was wondering why everything started to come up missing after the second part of the exams, he said. Hey old man, how about we give you an IOU and get back with you in a few years when you're dead? Naruto asked. How about you all die? He responded and snapped his fingers and the entire Anbu appeared. Kill them, he said to them. Leave Hanabi alive. She is the price to Iwa for our treaty to work, Hiashi added. The Suna ninjas looked around. We are so screwed, like hard in the screwed, Naruto said. Although I hate your reference, I have to agree, we are screwed, Kushina said. Jumping between them and the Konoha Anbu was the Inuzuka entire clan and Ino. Hana-chan, Ino-chan, Naruto said in surprise. I'm still pissed at you for lying to me, but I will forgive you only if you take me with you out of here, Ino said. Sure, not like we have a good chance of getting out anyway, Naruto said. Alert every ninja of their treachery and to be ready to attack anyone from Suna, the Inuzuka clan, and Ino Yamenka, the Hokage said. How do we get out of this? Anko whispered. There is only one jutsu that will work, Kushina said. You mean that jutsu? Yugo asked. Yay. We have to use it, Kushina said. They all nodded and went through the same hand signs. Edo Tensei, they said, and summoned the first, second, and fourth Hokage, first, second, and third Kazekage, Tsukumo Hatake, all the dead Uchihas, and the dead Senjus. Thanks to Gaara and Naruto's extremely large chakra reserves, let's kick some Konoha, Naruto said. Ino, what are you doing? Inoichi asked. You once told me that I would have to make my own path, that I would have to prove I'm my own person. I'm doing just that. Ino said. By betraying your family and home? Inoichi asked. You betrayed me first. You banned me from meeting new people. That wasn't a home, it was a prison. Ino said. I'm very disappointed. Minato spoke out. Why are you disappointed? Inoichi asked. Did anyone follow through with my wish to see that Naruto was seen as a hero? Minato asked. A hero? He is a demon. Someone yelled. Fools. Hashirama bellowed, quieting all yells of Naruto being a demon. Hashirama. The third said. We have failed in training you, Sarutobi. Hashirama said. What do you mean? Sarutobi asked. I thought we taught you how to see past what others think and see who a person is. You neglected to see that Naruto is just someone who got the bad draw of being born on the day Kyuubi attacked. You shunned him for your foolish beliefs. Hashirama said. I should have selected Danzo to be Sandaime. Tobirama said. Kakashi. And Uchiha called out. Obito. Kakashi asked. Obito looked at him. Remember when I told you that? Those who break the shinobi rules are trash, but those who don't care about their companions are worse than trash. He asked. Yes. Kakashi said. You're even worse than someone who betrays their companions, you're a real demon. Obito said in disgust. What, why would you say that? Kakashi asked in shock. Obito pointed to Naruto. He is 12 years old, the age I was when I died because you refused to go back and help Rin. When he was only 5 was going to kill him. You was going to kill a child who couldn't protect himself. You are worse than any person can be. He is Sensei's son. Obito said. We had a vision for this village when we first created it. It would be a place where everyone can live in peace. We would protect the peace for all innocent people. You all have ruined that dream. It goes much deeper than the Uchihas trying to take over. The entire village is corrupted and needs to be cleansed. Hashirama said. For the way you treated my son, I will show you no mercy. Minato said as he pulled out a single kunai. We won't die so easily. Hiashi said. You're the first on my list of S to kill. Minato said to him. I finally get to kick that Hyugas. Naruto said. No, you all leave. Minato said. What, but I want to fight. Naruto complained. You have more battles to fight. This one is not your fight. Besides, we don't have long to be here, and this way we know we won't harm any of you by accident. Minato said. He is right. You all should leave. Tobirama said. Sasuke, I thought I raised you better than this. Makoto said. Let's go. Kushina said. Wait, Anko, you have the seal of Orochimaru on you. Hashirama said. Anko hid her neck in her coat. Yay. She whispered. Let us see if we can fix it. Minato said. You can do that? Anko asked in surprise. Of course. Hashirama said as he and Minato looked at her seal. This seal is unique. We can't remove it like I hoped, but altering it will work just as well. Minato said. I agree. Hashirama said as he traced it with his finger. I got it. If we destroy Orochimaru's influence on it, that should allow her to use it at will. He said. Minato nodded. Like a seal that hides your chakra. I like it. He said as he and Hashirama added their chakra into the seal. Anko screamed out in pain as they slowly destroyed every trace of Orochimaru in the seal. Once they finished, Minato caught her before she fell. It had a surprising amount of chakra in it. He must have wanted to use her as his ultimate weapon. Hashirama said. Well, she has no need to worry about him anymore. Minato said as he gave her to Kushina. Take care of our son Kushi-chan. He said as he kissed her softly on the lips. I don't need to be told. I'll join you one day in the afterlife, she said. Not for a few years you won't, he said. Now get out of here. Hashirama ordered. Break. Orochimaru looked down on Konoha with a sick smile. Finally they got what they deserved. Should have selected me as Hokage, he said. Orochimaru-sama, what do you want us to do? He was asked. Kabuto, go find out if any shinobi survived. If they did, bring them back to me. Hopefully a Hyuga and Uchiha is still alive, even if barely. Orochimaru ordered. Break. Kushina led the army, following her through the forest outside of Konoha. The Inuzukas covered their nose. They was hit by the smell of blood. Kushina looked at them with worry. Let's speed up and get as far away from this smell as possible. As soon as she finished this, the Inuzukas sped past her. Break. They reached Suna and went to the Uzumaki compound. Think anyone survived? Hinata asked. There are some civilians who wasn't killed. I smelled a few shinobis who survived. Sum said. We have to go get those who survived. Ino said. Why? Hana asked. At least we should go see who survived. And what about the civilians? They can't survive with all those dead bodies. Ino said. She has a point, but we can't bring them here, it's too far. Kushina said. What about Whirlpool? Naruto asked. Good idea. Sum, can you lead your clan there? The rest of us will go to Konoha and get the civilians, then come to Whirlpool. Kushina asked. Sure. Let's go. Sum said. What about Suna? They made you the case cage. Anko asked. I'll appoint a new case cage. Kushina said. What about us? Tamari asked. Kushina looked at her. You're going to be the liaison between Whirlpool and Suna. Bakiyu will be the new case cage, she said. Break. Orochimaru walked in the medic room of his hideout. Kabuto, did you find anyone worth saving? He asked. Yes, I found a few people worth saving. Kabuto answered. Oh, who? Orochimaru asked, truly curious. I found an Uchiha, a Hyuga, a Haruno, a Nara, an Aburame, an Akamichi, and this guy. Kabuto said. Orochimaru looked at him. Who the hell is that? He asked. He is the kid with outstanding taijutsu, the one who couldn't use ninjutsu. Kabuto said. No ninjutsu, He is useless, throw him out, throw out the Haruno also, keep the others. Orochimaru said and walked out. Break. Kushina, Anko, Kurenai, Yugo, Hinata, Naruto, Tenten, Hanabi, Ino, Shizune, Tsunade, and Jiraiya arrived back in Konoha. They looked around. Anyone want to go jutsu hunting? Kushina asked. The group immediately jumped off. Hinata, Tenten, Hanabi, Ino, and Naruto all went towards the clan compounds. Tsunade and Shizune went towards the headed for the cage's tower. Kushina suppressed a laugh as she, Kurenai, Yugo, and Anko headed for the shopping district. There was no guarantee that there would be any food or clothes in Whirlpool. Break. The kids arrived at the Yamanaka compound first. They followed Ino as she led them through until she came to a large house. You can go check the other houses, I'll check this one, she said. Let's meet back here in 10 minutes. Tenten said. Right. They all said and went off to a different house, with Hanabi with Hinata. 10 minutes later the group came back to the main house and waited for Ino. What's taking her so long? Naruto asked. Let's go find out, Hinata said. They walked in and heard crying. They ran through the house until they found Ino laying on a large bed crying. They slowly approached her. Ino-chan, what's wrong? Naruto asked. Ino sniffed and looked at them. It's just hard to believe he is really gone, she said and started crying again. No one knew what to say, so they stayed quiet. Until recently we had a good relationship. I always thought he would die out on a mission, worried about who would take care of me, but he didn't and he died mad at me, she finally said. I'm sure he still loved you. Naruto said. Well, I for one am happy my father is dead. Hanabi said. Everyone looked at her. What I am? She said. At least you're happy about this. Ino said, laughing lightly. Come on, let's get you out of here. Tenten said as she and Hinata helped her up. Break. Tsunade looked over the records of the people in the hospital. Shizune, how many did you count that was in here? She asked. 10, all civilians. Shizune answered. Severeness of injury? Tsunade asked. Not severe, most just minor injuries. Shizune said. Well, let's start healing them. We can't leave them, then we will collect all the records and things from here. Tsunade said. Break. 2 hours later Kushina, Yugo, Anko, and Kurenai went through all the shops in the shopping district and sealed everything in scrolls. They walked away from the shopping district with packs full of extra-large scrolls. They arrived at the civilian monument at the same time that everyone else. Tsunade and Shizune had 3 shinobis who managed to survive with them, and saw Jiraiya sitting waiting on them. Okay. I determined no civilians are within the village and it looks like Tsunade and Shizune healed all the injured shinobis. Last thing we have to check is the civilian shelter, he said. Well, let's go check it, Tsunade said. The kids shifted their extra-large scroll on their back. Kushina pushed the wall open and walked in and saw a bunch of people. Excuse me, can everyone listen up? She yelled out. What's going on? Someone yelled back. The village is no longer safe. It was destroyed by those loyal to it. Kushina said. Not a complete lie. The people who killed everyone was very loyal, she thought. What will we do? Someone else asked. I will take you all to safety. If you will follow us, everyone will be safe. Kushina said. Where are we going? Someone asked. Whirlpool. Now if you have any problems, talk to one of us and we will try and fix it. Kushina said. Everyone followed them out and down a select path. Jiraiya pulled one of the shinobis who survived. Tenzo, can you still use your chakra? He asked. Yes. Tenzo answered. Good. When everyone is clear of this area, I want you to collapse the building and grow out a forest here. No one outside of us know what happened to Konoha. I want people to think it just moved and renamed itself Whirlpool, he said. Why? Tenzo asked. It's better if you don't ask questions. Jiraiya said. Okay. Tenzo said. Break. Kushina led everyone through Whirlpool until they came to an area large enough to hold everyone. Okay, is everyone here? She yelled. What kind of question is that? How will we know if everyone isn't here? Anko asked. Anyway, before I let you all go, find a house to live in. is anyone from a clan or shinobi family? She asked. A few people raised their hands. Is anyone from a clan who doesn't have shinobi training? Tsunade asked. Everyone put their hand down. Okay, where is what is going to happen? Everyone will have to line up and sign a scroll saying what your name is, any kids you have, your occupation, and if you're staying in Whirlpool or not. For those who are will go to Tsunade and get a scroll that has a house number on it. The house size will be determined by your family size. Those from clans will have to put your name on one scroll and you will receive a house big enough to fit everyone in it. If you're not staying, then you can leave immediately. Kushina said. Everyone got in somewhat of a line. She saw at least 50 people walk away. She turned to the others. Jiraiya, can you lead the others out and write the address of the houses on a scroll, one per scroll? Tsunade asked. Sure. Let's go. If you know Kage Bush and use it, Hanabi stay here. Jiraiya said. They all ran off creating bushins to help the process. Sum walked up. Wow, you got here faster than I thought. She said. Well, it wasn't many people left alive. Kushina said. Break. Haku sat in a restaurant in Kiri waiting for Kushina to send for her. Kasumi walked up. You're still here? She asked. I'm waiting on Kushina to send me a message telling me where she is. Haku responded. Kasumi sat down. So you're just going to sit here every day all day until you get that message? She asked. Yes. Haku said. Well, you're in luck, a messenger bird. Kasumi said. Haku looked up as the bird landed on the table. She took the letter from its leg and read it. I'm leaving. She said. Where is Kushina? Kasumi asked. Whirlpool. Haku told her. Okay. Kasumi said. Break. A month later, Kushina looked over the scroll of everyone now living in Whirlpool, which was now full of people trying to make a new life for themselves. The good thing she realized was that they had a lot of children from all the clans from Konoha. Hinata took all the Hyugas and decided she would train them all, much to Hanabi's delight because she would be getting trained by her also. Ino took the Yamanakas and went to the large house assigned to them. She was in control of their training. The rest of the clans was left to the oldest person in them, which usually was someone around 30 with no shinobi training whatsoever. The only exception was the Aburame clan, who trained all their members no matter what field you decided to go to. In total there was 300 kids and young adults from the Hyuga and Uchiha clan, all was branch members. Jiraiya was currently working on a way to remove the cursed seal. There was 200 from the Yamanaka, Nara, and Akamichi clans, 175 from the Aburame clan plus a bunch of hives that Jiraiya and Tenzo grabbed. All 800 members of the Inuzuka clan plus 800 civilians. The village was busy immediately with people running around, mainly kids who was bored. The shinobis spent most of the month fixing the building so they was livable. Tsunade was busy training all the vets in the Inuzuka clan to be medics until the ones Shizune was training was good enough to take over. Jiraiya was leading a group of shinobis in teaching everyone from the age of 8 and up how to use chakra and do jutsus. Enko was currently teaching those same people taijutsu. Kurenai was teaching genjutsu to those who wanted to learn it, but everyone learned to break it. Naruto and Tenten was teaching them how to use weapons of all types. Hinata and Ino was busy training the adults in their respective clans. Kushina made sure that the other clans was learning how to use their bloodlines in case they needed to. The Aburame clan, since they already knew this stuff, was currently using their bugs to pollinate Whirlpool with the pollens they collected from Konoha. Tenzo made the ground usable so they can start growing crops. Haku set up fishing posts and was helping wherever she was needed. A bank, grocery store, jewelry store, and multiple other stores was built, and she placed the scrolls that was taken out of Konoha's shopping district and put them in Whirlpool's shopping district. She gave the Inuzuka clan all the money they had from Konoha back to them, which was put in their bank account. She gave the other clans a portion of their money. The smaller clans got 3/4 of their money while the Hyuga and Uchiha clans got half of their money, which still was a lot more than any other clan except Inuzuka, who was now even with them. The rest of the money she poured into the village to get it moving in the right direction. Everyone who had a job in Konoha was given their same job here. She had her new blacksmith. The old ones from Konoha somehow died in their sleep. Make new whirlpool hitayates for all the shinobis and paid him a nice amount for it. Tenten even donated all the weapons she got from Konoha's weapons shop to him so he would have things to sell while he made the hitayates. All the Chunin and higher jutsu scroll was put in a shinobi library, while the Genin scrolls was in the civilian library in case they wanted to learn about chakra or different jutsus. The biggest restaurant in the village, Ichiraku's all-you-can-eat, quickly became a favorite of most people while other restaurants started to pop up. The owner, Ayame Ichiraku, couldn't pass up the idea of expanding on her father's idea after he died protecting her during the attack on Konoha, plus it was Naruto's idea and he was her best friend before he left the village. He would always go play with her when they was kids. Break. 2 months later Kushina sat back in the small office she had and looked over the mission options that came in. They was headed for Konoha, but having Jiraiya convince him to route them to Whirlpool was easy, when facing a threat of becoming bankrupt since no one would be receiving the missions. Looked out her window at the fast-building Whirlpool and spotted Tenzo sitting on a bench. Grabbing her cage's hat and the bag of missions she approached him. Tenzo, I have an A-ranked mission for you, she said. What is it, Kushina-sama? He asked. In Wave they are having trouble completing their bridge, lack of manpower. Take Naruto, Hinata, and Ten with Yum, they know the area. Kushina said. Tenzo nodded and went off to find the three and on to his mission. How is being the Uzukage coming? Haku asked. Great. Not that anyone would go against Jiraiya's and Tsunade's vote for me as the Shodai Uzukage. Kushina said. Any missions for me? Haku asked looking at the bag. Yes, a group of people want an escort from Sea Country here. Grab someone and head there. Kushina said. Break. Itachi walked in a random direction with his Sharingan blazing like always. He spent the last few months training as hard as possible. During the time that Konoha was destroyed he was out of the village on an important mission. He had no idea who did it, but figured he had better things to do than search for the person responsibly. He had no clues anyway. He walked into a small town and went to a clothing store. He looked around and bought an all-black cloak that covered his entire body from the shoulders down and a large traditional hat. He walked out with his new purchases on and completely blocked the sun and prying eyes from him. He walked out of the town. As he walked he came across the new village Whirlpool. He jumped on top of the gate and looked out into the village. He had to admit he heard rumors about this village and it intrigued him, yet he knew nothing about it. He hated not know things. He glanced over when he felt someone land next to him, then turned back to look at the village. This person had on a blue hat and robe that covered their entire body. You're the leader of this place? He asked, not really wanting to start a fight. Yes. What are you doing here, Itachi? I heard everyone but civilians died. Did you kill them? She retorted. No. I was out the village when that happened. He said. So why are you here? She asked again. I'm intrigued by this new village. He said. She looked at him. What do you want? We haven't done anything yet to attract enemies. She asked. He looked at her. I'm not an enemy yet. Next time I come I might be. He said and turned to jump off. Itachi. She called out. Yes, Kushina. He asked. Before we came here to rebuild this village we stopped in Konoha. We brought all the civilians with us. Some of those who we brought was Uchihas, she said. So? He asked. They need someone they trust around. They need to know that you care enough about them to be a part of their lives, she said. Are you asking me to join your village? He asked. Take it how you want, but no one here can train Uchihas the way an Uchiha can. This could be your legacy, she said and jumped back to the village. Itachi watched her leave and thought about what she said. Break 0. Kushina landed in front of her office building and sensed a chakra spike near the water. She took off at great speed and arrived at the spot and found a few injured shinobis. Who is responsible for this? She asked. Those two. a shinobi said, pointing to Zabuza and his partner. Zabuza, so you attack my village and think you can get away with it? She asked. Kushina, you ruined my job in Wave, you have to pay somehow. He replied. I'm not Uzukage for nothing, if you don't leave I will kill you. She said. I don't care who you are, you owe me money. Zabuza said as he attacked her. A shinobi appeared in front of her and caught the clever by part of the handle and held it steady while Zabuza struggled. Who the hell are you? He questioned. The shinobi looked up at Zabuza with his Sharingan blazing and his free hand in front of his mouth. Kaden, Dragon Fire, he said as he pulled the clever out of Zabuza's hand. He then spent the handle so he was holding it properly and looked at his partner and vanished. The boy fell to his knees as blood started to squirt out of his neck. So you decided on my offer? Kushina asked. He looked at her with his Sharingan. Yes, I have 2 requirements before I join, he said. What are those? Kushina asked. That I don't have to be head of what's left of the Uchiha clan and I get to train whoever I want, he said. Kushina met his eyes in thought. I get the clever and you have a deal, she said. He tossed it to her. Welcome to Whirlpool Itachi Uchiha, she said as she caught the weapon. Itachi, some of the Uchihas said. He removed his hat. Sorry for not protecting you all, he said. As long as we have your protection now, that's we require, a random Uchiha said. Break. 2 days later Itachi walked into Kushina's office and completely missed Naruto, Tenten, Hinata, Ino, Hana, and Kiba, as he was more focused on the window on the opposite side of the room. They eyed him while he stood in front of Kushina with his arms shoved in his pockets. Remember my requirement for joining? He asked lazily, still looking out the window. Yes, she said while she looked through her scrolls. Well, I waited long enough, he said. She picked up a scroll and read it, then tossed it to the side. The 6 was waiting for her to kick his for his rudeness but was disappointed. And who do you have in mind? She asked. Those 6 will do, he said without looking at them. The 6 was lost at what was happening. First Itachi walks in and acts like he doesn't even notice them, then he talks rudely to the Uzukage. She responds without even registering what he says as she reads a scroll and toss it aside, then he says they will do. In short, they was 5 confused Genins and Chunin. Sure, although Hana is a Chunin, she could use to be around more people her age and extra missions and training doesn't hurt. Kushina said as she tossed another scroll to the side. Hey, wait 1 minute. Naruto yelled. What's wrong, son? Kushina asked, looking at him with a concerned look on her face. What the hell is going on? First we get ignored, then he talks to you rude, then he says we will do and you agree without even thinking about it. What will we do for? He yelled. Is that all you wanted to know? I thought something was wrong. He is going to take over training you. Kushina said, smiling with relief. What? I don't want to be trained by Itachi. Naruto yelled. Who do you want to be trained by? Kushina asked. You. Naruto said. Can't. I'm running a village, remember? Kushina answered. Then what about Kurenai, Anko, Yugo, Jiraiya, Tsunade, anyone but him? Naruto asked. You're a genin, you don't get a choice of who your Junin sensei is. Now go get ready for travel. There is a rumor that a town north of Konoha found 2 people who survived. I want to look into this. Itachi said, still looking out the window. You don't tell me what to do. Naruto yelled as the 4 stayed placed. Naruto. Kushina said. He looked over at her. Itachi is your sensei now. Do as he says. If I get one report that you didn't follow his instructions, I'm taking all your equipment and you will be doing academy missions for the rest of that month, she stated. But, he started. Am I understood, young man? She asked while her blue eyes pierced into his, promising something bad if he disobeyed her. Yes, mom, Naruto said. Uzukage. Itachi corrected. She's my mom. Naruto said. You're on the job, she is your Uzukage. You will refer to her like that. Before you advance in ranks you will learn respect for authority figures. Itachi said. Naruto glared at him. Itachi matched his just by looking at his reflection in the window. Yes, Uzukage, he finally said. Good. Now meet me at the gate in 5 minutes, and get a white cull body cloak like mine and a large hat like mine, he said and vanished in a trace of fire. Naruto, Kushina called to get his attention. Itachi is an elite and could probably be a Kage if he wanted to. He can teach you a lot about being a shinobi and about being a man, she said. So can Jiraiya, Naruto said. Kushina gave him a playful confused look. So you want to be a pervert? Oh, I can't believe my son is a pervert in training, she said. Mom, I'm not a pervert, he said. I know, now you four better leave before you're late, Kushina said. Oh Naruto, here a gift, she said as she pulled the clever from behind her chair and gave it to him. If you got that, give Ino the katana I gave you, she needs a weapon. Tenten told her brother. Naruto shrugged and gave her the katana. Break. The six arrived at the gate with their white robe and hat on. Naruto had the clever on his back, but it was too long and dragged on the ground. Tenten had her rod on her back but it also dragged on the ground. Ino had her katana on her left hip completely hidden by the robe so Itachi didn't know she had it yet. Hinata had her whip on her left hip completely hidden. Kiba had Akamaru on his head. Hana had her three dogs next to her, each was knee-high to her. You're late, Itachi said from outside the gate looking away from him. Next time be on time or you won't get paid, he finished. But we are not getting paid, Kiba said. I'm paying for this mission, now shut up before you don't get paid, Itachi said and started to walk off. The six followed behind him. Break. Orochimaru walked in the medic room. I want you to heal Kimimaro, he told Kabuto. But I thought you said he was unstable, Kabuto asked. With the new recruits he will have enough to stay under control, plus I want to know who will be stronger, him, the Uchiha, or the Hyuga, Orochimaru said. He headed for the door then stopped. Put them three, the Akamichi, the Aburame, the Nara, Tayuya, Karen, and Jugo on the same team, I will train them personally, he said and left. Break. Itachi arrived at the town and led them to the hospital. Hello, I am here about a rumor of two people surviving the defeat that Konoha had, he said. Yes, this way, the doctors think they will never wake up, they have been in a coma since we found them, the nurse said. They arrived in the room and saw the two, Sakura, Lee, Ino said. Itachi looked at the nurse. We will be taking them, he said. Naruto, Kiba carry them, he finished. Naruto walked up to Sakura and put her on his back. Kiba did the same with Lee. Now, let's hurry back to Whirlpool, Itachi said as they vanished via Shunshin. Itachi stood in the hospital room for Sakura and Lee as Tsunade checked over them. Kushina came in. How are they? She asked. Fine. They was shocked into a coma, Tsunade said. Can you get them out of it? Kushina asked. It will be hard, but I can do it, Tsunade said. I want them on my team when they are ready, Itachi said and walked out. He is a rude one. Why did you let him join? Tsunade asked. Better with us than against us, plus he is powerful, almost as powerful as I am, Kushina said. That's saying a lot since you're one of the strongest in all the shinobi nations, Tsunade said. I know, trust me, he will be great for our village, if you get past his attitude. Besides, Naruto is rude in his own way, Kushina said. You can't compare Naruto's rudeness to Itachi rudeness, Tsunade said. You're right, Itachi earned the right to be rude through hard work and training. Naruto is rude because I babied him ever since we was together. He thinks he can get anything he want, Kushina said. They are complete opposites, sarcastic and serious, wind and fire, Tsunade said. Kushina gave her a funny look. I want him to train Naruto, not date him, she said. You completely missed the point, Tsunade said. Relax, you make it sound like Itachi is going to kill him. Remember, it was his decision to join, I just asked, Kushina said. I'm just worried about Naruto, Tsunade said. You know he is training 5 other people, Kushina asked. I know, but Naruto is easily influenced, Tsunade said. Look, Su-chan, I know you're worried, but he is my son, not yours. Let me worry about him. I don't need the constant harassment I'm getting from you and Jiraiya about letting Itachi train him. If anything happens, I'll take care of Itachi personally, Kushina said. I know, but I'm still worried. Tsunade said. Don't be. You have more important things than to worry about him. I'm not trying to sound rude or anything, but he is my son and Itachi is the best person to train him right now. Kushina said. Tsunade sighed. I know you wouldn't have done this if you didn't think it was the best, she said. Of course I wouldn't. I already lost my son once and I'm not going to put him in any unnecessary danger. Kushina said. Tsunade sat in one of the chairs. I never had any kids, so Naruto is like a son to me also, she said. I know, but he is my son and I would die before I put him in danger and you know this. Kushina said. I know, but why Itachi? Tsunade asked. I respect him. Kushina answered. What does that have to do with anything? Tsunade asked. It's the reason I am letting Itachi train those 6. He earned my respect. Unlike any other Uchiha, he trains hard. He separated himself from the rest by mastering his skills. The only other person I respect enough who has the skills to train all of them is Jiraiya, and he is always out on some spy mission, plus I don't want my son being perverted. Kushina said. What about Anko, Yugo, Kurenai, and Shizune? Tsunade said. Yes, I respect them also. You know that, but with Itachi I can have him train all 6 of them and have the other Junins where they really are needed and not waste their skills. Besides, none wants to be Junin senseis, I already asked. Kushina said. Okay, as long as you are sure this is the right decision. Tsunade said. It is, I'm sure of it. Kushina said. Break. Itachi stood in front of his team. Let's get one thing straight. I don't care if you like me or not, but you will listen and do what I say as I say it. Is that understood? He asked. Yes, Itachi. All but Naruto said. Itachi looked at him. You are going to be the rebel of the team. He asked. You can't do anything but tell my mom. Naruto said, crossing his arms. Itachi looked at him with no expression on his face but a raised eyebrow. 2 minutes later, Itachi walked away from a tree as Naruto yelled and tried to untie his legs from the branch he was hanging from. I'm going to tell you this now. My training is hard and it will demand the best you got, but if you give it your all you will improve dramatically, so I ask you, do anyone want to back out now? Once you start there is no going back. Itachi asked. No one said anything. Okay, we will get started with an endurance test, he said. Kushina walked up. Where is Naruto? She asked. He decided he didn't have to listen to me and that I would run and tell you. Itachi said, pointing to a tree. Kushina looked at him. I'll deal with you at home. Train hard, she said and walked away. Can you cut me down, mom? He asked. Itachi looked at him. I mean Uzukage. He corrected. I'm not your sensei. You should listen to him so you won't miss out on important stuff. Kushina said as she walked away. Break. Itachi untied Naruto as training ended. Naruto wobbled and fell over. Now are you going to shut up and do as I tell you? Itachi asked. Naruto looked at him. Stop moving, he said. Itachi rolled his eyes. Go join the rest of them, he said. Naruto wobbled over to them. It's only been 10 minutes. Itachi said. Break. A month later, Baki sat in the cage's office while reading a scroll. Bring me Tamari, Gaara, and Kankuro, he said. Once the 3 was in there, he pulled out 3 scrolls. Kushina has sent me a scroll specifically for each of you. She expects you to have them mastered in 3 months. I'm giving you a month and a half to master them, he said. What are on the scrolls? Tamari asked. Tamari for you sealing and taijutsu. Gaara has genin level scrolls from her Iron Sand bloodline. Kankuro, you have ninjutsu and taijutsu. Baki said, tossing them the scrolls. Why do I only get 1 scroll? Gaara asked. She didn't say. Baki said. Well, let's get started, Tamari said as she walked out the office. Break. Ino walked away from the newly built Yamanaka flower shop. It was still waiting for more flowers to grow, but she made it work. With her knowledge of plants and the Abarame's willingness to assist her, she was able to get a garden twice the size of the one that she had in Konoha growing, although none of the flowers was growing yet. She walked until she saw Yugo eating and went to join her. "Hey Yugo," she said. "Hey," Yugo said through bites. Ino watched her for a minute. "What?" Yugo asked finally. "I was thinking." Ino started. "You have to agree to be trained by me if I agree to let you sign the centipede contract." Yugo cut in. Ino blinked. "How did you know I wanted to sign it?" She asked. "I see you when you work on your garden, how you try and turn the dirt to make it usable. Centipedes would greatly help you with that." Yugo said. "So you will let me sign it if I become your apprentice?" Ino asked. Yugo shrugged. "Sure," she said. Break. Yugo stood with Ino in the small Uzumaki yard debating how to start her training. "You're spoiled," she started out. "Spoiled?" Ino asked. "Yes, spoiled. You expect things to be handed to you nice and easy. That's going to change." Yugo said. "I'm not spoiled." Ino protested. Yugo looked at her. "Back in Konoha, if you wanted something, what did you do?" She asked. "I told my father what I wanted and he got it for me." Ino said. "If something didn't go your way, what did you do?" Yugo asked. "I told me father." Ino said. "If your sensei pushed you until you couldn't stand, what happened?" Yugo asked. "My father would yell at him until he apologized." Ino said. "If you didn't get things your way?" Yugo asked. "I would pout and complain." Ino said. "See where this is going? You're an only girl and you was treated that way by your father. It's not entirely your fault, but you need to change, not a lot but still change." Yugo said. "What do you mean not entirely my fault?" Ino asked. "It's the way you was raised. As you grew up you expected things to go your way. Your father is more to blame, but you're also to blame in a small way because you never tried to change." Yugo said. "What do I need to do?" Ino asked. "I'm guessing you never had a female figure in your life." Yugo asked. "No, my mom died when I was 3. Ino said. "You need to learn to act like a kunoichi and not a spoiled brat." Yugo said. "You're going to teach me?" Ino asked.